6 signs your vehicle's EGR valve is failing. What is an EGR valve? The combustion process of internal combustion engine cars creates nitrogen oxide emissions as a byproduct, a pollution source. The EGR system regulates these emissions by returning some exhaust gas through the intake manifold into the combustion chamber. This process lowers the combustion chamber's temperature, reducing the amount of nitrogen oxide produced. The EGR valve is an essential component of the EGR system. It connects the exhaust to the intake manifold and regulates the amount of recirculated exhaust gas depending on the engine's requirements. How the EGR valve works: the EGR valve has two main settings. Depending on the vehicle's condition, it is either in an open or closed position. Before a vehicle starts, the valve is usually in the closed position. Only a tiny amount of oxygen is required as the vehicle idles or moves at a lower speed, hence the EGR valve gradually opens to let more gas into the combustion chamber. Exhaust gases reduce the amount of oxygen and increase the amount of water vapor, which helps maintain a lower combustion temperature and keep nitrogen oxide emissions at a minimum. On the other hand, the vehicle requires more torque as it accelerates, which calls for more fresh air. The valve, therefore, closes to prevent the exhaust gases from re-entering the combustion chamber and ensures that an optimal amount of oxygen is maintained. EGR valve problems: a common problem with EGR valves is clogging or being stuck open or closed due to a buildup of carbon deposits. In extreme cases, the valve can be completely choked, preventing the recirculation of the exhaust gases. Many signs indicate a bad or failing EGR valve, most of which are engine-related problems. Common signs that show your EGR valve is failing. 1. Poor mileage: when the EGR valve is stuck in its open position, there will be a considerable drop in fuel efficiency, and this happens due to the temperature inside the combustion chambers being lower. This leads to inefficient ignition of the fuel inside, which in long term could cause harm to the life of the engine as well. 2. Loss in performance: if the EGR is stuck in an open or closed position, then there might be a decrease in performance, say while accelerating. This happens mainly because of an incorrect mixture of air and fuel mixture inside the combustion chambers. If the valve is stuck while being open, then it allows too much exhaust gas in, and if it's continually closed, then your emissions will rise. 3. Higher emission: when you experience your vehicle failing the emission tests due to a higher score than permitted, then it might be due to a faulty EGR valve. We are not saying that the EGR valve is the only reason, but it is better to get it checked by an expert. When the EGR valve is stuck while being closed, then it will not be recirculating the exhaust gases and there will be no control over the exhaust gases, which causes more emissions. For knocking sound: when the EGR valve is stuck in a closed position, the temperature inside the combustion chambers keeps increasing and gets higher than the threshold. This causes the fuel to ignite earlier than it is supposed to, especially when the engine is at low RPM, which can cause a knocking sound. If you are aware of the concept of knocking, then you will know that it is really bad for your engine if it happens for a prolonged time. 5. Check engine light on: a check engine light may appear for a lot of other reasons and not just for a failing EGR valve. However, if the EGR valve finally gives up or stops working, then you will most likely see the check engine light. So, if your check engine light turns on, and it coincides with the other reasons, it most probably will be the EGR valve. An electronically operated EGR valve gets its instructions from the ECU, and the ECU also handles the illumination of the check engine light. 6. Smell of fuel: the nitrogen oxide released from the tailpipe of your car is not only harmful but has a very pungent odor. Also, when the EGR valve is not working correctly, there is a chance that your engine may burn more fuel, which releases a lot of hydrocarbons. They mix with the added nitrogen oxide and generate a dangerous mix of harmful gases.
Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe my YouTube channel for more videos about auto repair.